any problems with you being on a recorded video, it will be okay for you to drop off now. So today, I would like to just introduce you again and give you an outline of the things that we're going to be talking about today. Well, it's the first TitanR webinar of the year, and that we hope at the end of this session, you would have like clear directions on what you need to do to accelerate your growth in 2022. We know that growth is I would say it's a very vague word because growth means different things for different people. But we hope that irrespective of what growth means for you in the career side, in the graduate school admission side, you'll be able to find clarity after this event. So today, our outline is we'll be going through the story behind TitanR. I hope I would not bore you for about 5 minutes telling my story so that you guys understand the why TitanR exists and why we are on a mission to do what we do. We will tell you about the success stories all over the years, and then we will be doing like a quick highlight of our admissions and career services. Finally, we'll be showing you a calendar of our events for the rest of the year, so that if you would like to know ahead what events, what programs TitanR has, you can get ahead of it and register as soon as possible. Finally, you'll be able to hear firsthand from our previous clients, our current clients. You'll be able to ask them questions. Please note that I said the session is being recorded. Now, you are able to ask questions. I know you're not able to come off mute. However, I think you can come off mute actually. But for your questions, if you would like to ask questions, please put your questions in the chat box. We have TitanR consultants that are currently in the chat box that will be answering questions. If there are questions that they cannot answer directly, I will be taking breaks in the middle of the presentation to go through the chat box and answer your questions. Please feel free to ask questions. If you want to ask a particular presenter a question, please make sure that you call their name out and ask them the question. You will get to know about our presenters in a couple of minutes. So I said that I was going to tell you a story about TitanR, the reason why TitanR. I want to introduce myself because I know that I didn't do that at the beginning of this call. My name is Tomilola Abiodun. That's my official name everywhere. But I also go by the name Anu because of the meaning of the name and the significance of the name to me. I'm the senior consultant and the founder at TitanR Consulting. I'm very excited to be speaking to all of you today, as I'm really passionate about helping people achieve their goals, whether it be career or academic, whatever goals they have. I'm just always there to cheer people on. Something that I've noticed is I always get questions about how TitanR came about. So I would like to spend the next 5 minutes talking about myself and telling the story of how my personal experiences spurred me to starting this. Trust me, I will not bore you. I hope not to bore you. But what I would do is I would not do anything, or I won't say anything before my undergraduate life, because you don't want to know how my life went before that. So I would start with the fact that I studied accounting at Covenant University. I graduated in 2010. So my dad and a few of his friends are chartered accountants. So early on, I was very exposed to the benefits of working in a Big Four. I knew how my career trajectory was literally going to go. And I had my eyes set on PwC. That was what I wanted to do. But in Nigeria, after graduating from school, then you get to do like your NYSC. And I didn't get to do my NYSC in PwC. To be honest, I didn't really try because I was serving in Abuja. So I served in a bank. I spent the year studying for my ICANN exams and seeking job opportunities because this is something that I really liked. I was literally the driving force. I was always telling my friends that, oh, there's this opportunity out there, there's this opportunity out there. I really loved those things. Like, I love going for assessment tests. I know that's weird, but I love doing stuff like that. So what happened is I was fortunate to take like my bank's assessment test during my service year, and I passed. While that was exciting, I honestly did not want to work in a bank. why would I, when I knew the trajectory, the career trajectory for accountants in Big Four were better? I honestly had my mindset on being a partner. That might still happen. Who knows? Fingers crossed. But during the service year, I would say that apart from all of these things that I would say went well for me, I experienced what I would call my first failure. I took the then P1 icon exams, and I passed just one paper out of 4. It seemed like the dreams of working for a Big Four just became really, really, really slim. Although I was sad, there's something about me. I'm very realistic. And I have something called self-awareness, right? And it's a quality I hold dear to my heart. I'm very self-aware. The truth is, I knew that I did not study for my exam. So I'm not those kind of people that believe that, oh, I failed, they failed me. No, I'm very aware that I did not study. I glossed over it because I felt like, well, I glossed over a lot of exams and I still passed. But, well, this is different. You have to go through the entire study pack if you want to pass. So I realized that I didn't take it as serious as I should have. Although I was sad, I was a little disappointed in myself. But I picked myself back up and I said, okay, I'll try again. And at this time, I was nearing the end of my service year. Well, fortunately, I got some other good news. I got called a week after my service year to go to the bank's training school. And it wasn't what I wanted, but it was better than nothing. So I jumped at it, still with my end goal in mind. I always keep my end goal in mind. I resumed the bank fully in 2012, and I started preparing for my ICANN exams all over again and preparing to get into the Big Four. Well, not to bore you about how that went, but I applied for PwC. The process was intense. I scaled through almost all of the stages. We had an initial personality test. We had like an online test. Then we had an in-person test for like a verification. And then we had an interview. And we also had like a final personality test. I got through the interview stage. I aced it. Like, it's interview now. I mean, I was so excited. I had the last personality test. And I wouldn't really like to talk about what happened in the personality test because it was demoralizing. But I got the rude shock that I didn't get an offer. That's actually what I wanted. I was sad. I was depressed, like every other person would. And in that same time frame, I wrote an ICANN paper, and I failed. The paper is Advanced Audit and Assurance. You can imagine like the disappointment. Like if there was a bottom, I was like under the bottom. I felt a lot of shame. And remember when I started this conversation, I told you that my dad is an accountant. Well, what I didn't tell you is that he also tutors at one of the ICANN houses, and he teaches Advanced Audit and Assurance. He's actually the lead of Advanced Audit and Assurance. Imagine. And I failed it. So I felt so much shame for myself and for him. It felt like my world was crashing. And it's like, okay, all my goals are in the gutter. Maybe I should just continue like all of those people that spend all of their days working in the bank, and then that's just what they do, and they don't move up in their career. Yeah, maybe people that started working in banks like earlier. Yeah, but like our generation, I didn't really see like the career trajectory there. But something kept me pushing was my resilience, and I didn't allow my failure to define me. I looked deeply to figure out, okay, what mistakes did I make? How can I do better? And I'm somebody that I always advocate for trying again. So I tried again. I took my exams. I passed it. I applied for the graduate training program for PwC for 2013, and I got the offer. Like, my joy could not be quantified. A lot of people just feel like, oh, Tony, you got the offer, so smart. They don't know I had to try a second time. Well, my story isn't done yet, and I'm just halfway done. I hope I did not bore you. I'm going to make sure that I finish this and wrap it up in 2 minutes. So the reason why I'm telling you this is I hope you can see the trend, right, in my story, and I hope you understand why I'm telling this. On the journey of life, you cannot give up. You have to keep trying. If there's something that you set your goal on, or you set your mind up, you have to keep trying to get it. Maybe you don't get it this first time. Doesn't mean you have to throw in the towel and say, well, I didn't get it this first time. All my friends got it. No, you can always try again, because when there's life, there's actually hope. Well, fast forward 3.5 years at PwC, I was already a chartered accountant. I started seeking opportunities to develop myself. And then I started the MBA journey with a couple of my friends. Well, I took the GRE twice. I wasn't impressed with my test score, but it's me. I'm not new to taking things 2 times. So I took it twice. It was challenging. I got interviews for schools. I failed a couple. I was just learning the ropes. Then I got an interview with Ohio State. and I knew I did not want to mess it up. So I prepared like my life depended on it. I got in, I got awarded the Scholarship for Africa, which is a full tuition waiver and a gross monthly stipend then of about $1,500. In my mind, I had made it. Like, I literally had made it. Like, I was happy. My parents were so proud of me. And I was just very excited. But what I didn't know then was that the challenges had just begun, right? I got my admission decision in March, and I did nothing to prepare myself to resume in August. I'd assumed that, well, when I get to school, I will start working. Oh, I was wrong. School was intense. It was crazy. There were several assignments and cases to read daily, and I was barely keeping my head above water. In all of this, I lost track of the main goal, which was to land a great internship. And after several interview failures from companies like Microsoft, T-Mobile, Zillow, EY, Amgen, I became one of the very few people in my class to have an unpaid internship. I actually think I was the only international student seeking a paid internship that didn't get one. It was painful because I got good interviews. Microsoft even flew me to their main campus, put me in a big hotel, and I still failed. And I had friends that got the offers, and I wish I was like them. It was at that point that something clicked in me again. I figured that, oh, this has happened before, and I came out victorious. So I got out of my broody self, and in June of 2018, I decided to make the best out of my summer. I mean, I only worked 10 hours a week when everybody was working big jobs. So I started revamping my resume, writing my stories, practicing for my interviews. And even before I got them, I started practicing. And I learned a whole lot. I had sessions with my friends that got offers at big tech companies. They told me what they did. It was an intense 4 months that landed me more interviews at companies like BlackRock, American Airlines. And guess what? I got another interview at Microsoft again, this time for a product marketing role and not for a finance role that I interviewed for during the internship. Well, December 2018 was full of joy for me. I got the Microsoft full-time offer. I got a consulting offer from Highmark Health, and I got a verbal offer from an energy company. I'm not sure if I said this earlier, but my first Microsoft interview for internship that I didn't get was February of 2018. And things turned around for me in December of the same year. So I started using the knowledge to help my classmates and other first-year MBAs, and I soon realized that there are several people that would need my support, and I needed to start something to scale my impact. This is how I came about starting TitanR, because it's really born out of my life experiences and stories, and the fact that I do not want others to make the same mistake that I have made. So I hope I haven't bored you with my story. I just thought it was really important for you all to hear, so that you know that you are not the only one facing challenges, so that you know that your dreams are very valid, right? So I've spoken a whole lot, guys. So I want to get deep into what TitanR does. And if you want to hear more about my stories, trust me, I can talk for hours. Just send me an email and I'll be happy to get on a call with you and bore you more. So why TitanR exists is, just like I said, it's born out of my experiences, about my passion to ensure that people do not fail, to ensure that I take my experiences and my failures and I craft something so that somebody coming after me doesn't have to go through all of the stress I went through. So I would always call the primary purpose of TitanR is to ensure that young students, or young professionals rather, and students have the resources and tools that they need to succeed and make the best out of the next opportunity they might get. If you see a trend in my story, it is that I wasn't prepared for my next opportunity. So I got the next opportunity, but I wasn't prepared. And then that's led to failure. Well, for some people like me, I got second chances, but you all know that not everybody gets second chances. Sometimes you have just that one opportunity and you have to make the best use of it. So we at TitanR, we are here to help you make the best use of the opportunity that you get. And something else is information is power. And I strongly want to close the information gap, as I know that a lot of people are very confused. There's a lot of wrong information, like information going out there that is actually not right. Just very, very wrong information. So I want to close the information gap and get as many people as possible access to resources that can help them excel. Because I have faced several challenges in my academic and career space, and I know how it feels. So because of that, a lot of people will just assume, well, why is she not doing just an admissions coaching program? Well, That's because my challenges were not just for admissions. My challenges actually have been for career and a couple of academic challenges. So I decided to divide TitanR services into two broad categories. So the graduate school admissions coaching, that's the first category, and the career coaching, that's the second category. So I would like to take you through the graduate school admissions coaching, just 2 minutes. I know I've been talking a lot and you guys have questions. So, well, while most of our clients are prospective MBAs, we have supported clients to get into traditional master's programs and PhDs because we have consultants with various skills across various areas that help us. So something that I know is that when people think about career graduate coaching, a lot of people have reached out and said, oh, can you do this for us? Well, TitanR Consulting is not an agency the way we know agencies in Africa. No. We are actually like a school. So envision TitanR like a school where you have a teacher and you have a syllabus. And your teacher goes through the entire syllabus, gives you assignments, projects, exams to ensure that you are prepared. The goal is to get our clients at almost 100% prepared. However, you know that it's also important for the clients to put in the work. Now, let me explain further. The grad school stage has like services like school selection, initial networking coaching, resume coaching, recommendation letter coaching, essay coaching, admissions interview coaching, then visa and loan application if applicable. So an example is during the resume coaching, you get like an initial 30 minutes or an hour to learn about the standard framework, how you should do it. Then you get to work on your resume and send it back to us for review until we are comfortable and we finalize it. At this point, you put in the work, right? Because we're not going to write it for you. We're going to teach you and we're going to mark it. Yeah, at some point, there are a few things that we could rewrite because, yeah, we're like, oh, this person has made a very good attempt, but you have to put in the work. So if you think that you're not going to put in the work, then TitanR is not like the right fit for you because we want people who actually can take up the opportunities and have all of the resources and the tools in their backpack, not people that things are done for. And I hope you understand. The same goes for the essays where you brainstorm with your consultants on the best story to tell and how to tell it. All in all, you have to be very involved to achieve success. The truth is, the application process is just the tip of the iceberg, and how successful you are going to be going forward will be determined by how serious you are at this stage, right? Our admissions coaching is evolving as changes happen every day. So in addition to our one-on-one services that we do, we'll be offering boot camps at the end of the year for people that might prefer that. So if you'd like to learn more about the admission services, please send an email, and myself and a consultant, we'll schedule a call with you. Now, for the career services part, it's important for everybody to know that whether or not you're in graduate school or you're just interested in advancing your career, TitanR has career services for you. So don't feel like, oh, this is just for people that are in school or are trying to go to school so they can advance their career. So you can advance your career from where you are right now. You can get international opportunities from where you are right now. So you don't limit yourself to what you are. You should actually think about what you want to be, right? So for us, it's important that our clients showcase skills that portray value to hiring managers and recruiters. And we see a lot of people struggle with this. TitanR is here to help you. For career services, our services are quite diverse. We offer one-on-one services, we offer boot camps. However, all of our services are anchored around resume and cover letter coaching, story writing, interview coaching, job search prep, networking, including LinkedIn and Indeed optimization. We also help our clients think like beyond the impossible, right? So like I said, you might not be a prospective grad student. You might be a professional in Nigeria saying, well, can I get opportunities in Europe? Can I land a tech job from Nigeria in maybe Luxembourg or maybe London or Poland? Well, yeah, that's actually very possible. So we'll help you navigate that path. And if that's kind of what you are interested in, please send us an email. And like I said previously, put your questions in the chat box. And before I go on, I would like to implore us to actually follow us on, all of us to follow TitanR on social media. Our IG account is TitanR Consulting. at TitanR Consulting, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, TitanR Consulting. So, good. Well, I have already gone into detail about what we do, to be honest. I've gone into a lot of detail. So I would just take you through a few things. Successes. Well, we've had a lot of successes. Over the years, since we started, our clients that have received admissions are 95%, right? And our candidates with 100% scholarship are about 57%. Then candidates with 75% or above is about 86. Right now, our scholarship awards with stipends is going over 3 million. Then we have had clients accepted to several schools. I have just included a few of these schools on the chat, just a few, because we cannot write everything. So just look at these schools here, just a few of them. We have other schools like University of Notre Dame, we have SMU Cox, we have, I think a Chicago booth on it. We have UT Austin, we have Arizona State, we have William and Mary, we have University of Minnesota, just name it. Then our career clients, those are people that they've been really awesome. So like I told you, we have boot camps for people that are resuming grad school in the fall. So for our career clients that attended our boot camps, 100% of them were able to land at least an interview within the first month of school resumption. That means school resumes August, September, 100% of them had at least one interview. By December, 100% of them had at least 3 interviews. Then for our class of 2022, those are people graduating this year, 100% of them got internships. For the class of 2023, people graduating next year, 80% have internships. Meanwhile, recruiting hasn't even been completed. Most recruiting is completed in March. I already have 80% of people with internship. It's really amazing. And these are internships at big tech, consulting companies, investment banks. So that's just a highlight. And we have the offers for some of the companies that you've gotten offers for here, just listed here. If you'd like to learn more, please let us know. Now, I would not dwell too much on this because I already spoke about it before, our services, but look through the service like I would say it's a cycle, right? So this is how the cycle is actually supposed to go. And that's how our admission services are anchored. It's like the life cycle. However, we know that the life cycle doesn't work for everybody. So we have created structures around it. So we have structures like the complete MBA package. We have the complete grad school package for people that are not MBAs because the structure is a little different. Then we have individual services. So if you don't want to go like end to end with us and you say, oh, TitanR, we just need an essay coaching or we just need a resume coaching. Yeah, of course. And then we have accelerated boot camps, which are not one-on-one, but they're like one-to-many people. And it's for people that strongly believe that they might not really need one-on-one coaching, but they just need some guidance and overview. So this is how it is. So irrespective of what your admissions application needs are, everything fits into this life cycle. Now, I know I have said a whole lot, and you guys are like, oh my goodness, this girl talks a lot. Yeah, I do. When it comes to payments, just let us know. We'll send you our price list if you're interested in knowing, okay, how much do we charge and everything. But right now, I'm happy to let you know that we receive payments in over 155 currencies through Stripe. So irrespective of your country or where you are, you're able to pay us through Stripe. So now I would like us to hear from some of our clients that have gone through the admissions coaching and their success stories. So we're going to be speaking briefly to 2 amazing people, Habib and Dolapour. They are incoming MBAs of the class of 2024. Habib Kazim and Dolapour Adeoti. Habib and Dolapour were both TitanR clients in the round 1 application session of this cycle. And Habib is headed to Booth and Dolapour is headed to Darden. They got different admissions though with amazing scholarships, but this is the decision. So, Habib and Dolapo, I would like to thank you both for honoring our invitation today. If you don't mind, you can share your you can show us your faces if that's okay by you, no pressure. And I would like to just have like a conversation with you, just get to know what your experience was like, and also get you to answer some of the questions that we might have in the chat box based on what some of our participants might have. So Habib, I'll be starting with you. Do you mind giving us like a 20-second quick introduction about yourself, what you do, just so that people know you and put a face to your story?
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Nolua. My name is Habib. I am going to booth, as Ano just said. I am a machine learning engineer or a data scientist, as some people know it, at Deloitte and Touche. Although I'll be joining PwC next month as a manager in the data analytics team. So yeah, that's just who I am basically.
Oh, great. Thank you. Dolapo, can we get to know you also?
Oh, hi everybody. My name is Dolapo Adeoti. I currently live in Houston, Texas. I had my undergrad from Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria in accounting. I worked with the federal government before I came to the United States, and currently I work as an accountant in a public accounting firm. So that's pretty much everything about me for now.
Great. Thank you both for the great introduction. So Habib, I'll start with you. We would love to hear from you what you consider the most valuable service in the complete MBA admissions package from TitanR, because that's actually what you subscribe for. So what would you call the most valuable service?
Well, I believe that every component of the service was really worthwhile. Like, I mean, they were all interrelated, that I can tell you. However, I still believe that the essay service was priceless. You know, TitanR consultants, they assist in telling stories in unexpected ways that you didn't even think before you started the MBA journey. I know you must agree with me that, you know, certain stories, a particular story can reflect multiple characteristics or personalities, you know, that people can have. So what TitanR consultants do is they assist you in visualizing your story in a way that reflects the attributes that the schools seek in their students. I'll give an example. Chicago Booth is very big on the paid forward culture. Yeah, I do have a couple of stories where I've done certain things, whether it's professionally or in the NGO that I started. But what TitanR did for me was it assisted me, the consultants assisted me in crafting my essays to ensure that they are told in a way that reflects the pay it forward culture. So that's how I'll definitely say that the essay service was priceless for me.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Habib. Before we go to the question for Dolapo, I have a question in the Q&A side by Aziz Taiwo. Her question is, what are the best resources to study for the GRE, and what is the best time to write the GRE? Well, I would say that there are several resources, and I cannot explicitly say that there is the best resource out there. But I could give you, like, there is Magoosh, I know there is Manhattan Prep, Veritas, you can study. There's something on, I think, the GMAT Club. There's different resources. And if you want to know more about the resources, you can just send me an email directly, and I can just send you the links to some of these resources that you can try out. And then she's asked that when is the best time to write the GRE? I would always say that it's best to write the GRE a couple of months before your application cycle. So it's intense trying to write your stories, your resume, do networking, doing everything together. So it's always good for you to have your exam already sorted. So if you're thinking of applying in the October or September round, having your test scores in July will be great. And if you're going to have your test score in July, you have to study like 3 months ahead. So, or previously rather. So maybe you start studying from now. So if you're thinking of going to school next year, I would say now is the right time to start studying. You do not want to add the pressure of studying for the GRE, also with the application. It's intense. I mean, you can do it, but it's very intense. And studying early and writing your exam early gives you an opportunity to rewrite if your test score is not what you actually want. Great. So now to Dolapo, how did you learn about TitanR, and how did the service help you in getting admissions with scholarships?
All right. So the first time I heard about TitanR, it was through a group, an MBA group called City of Lane, because I usually the group is on Telegram, so they organize webinars. So I joined one of the webinars, and Tomidola was one of the guest speakers on the webinar. So initially I never used to subscribe to joining these consulting services, and when I researched for MBA consulting services, their prices were too much, like 4,000 to apply to one school. I was like, well, I'll do it myself because I like to do everything myself. I'm a DIY kind of person. I enjoy doing things myself. But when it got to the MBA point, because I already got my GRE score as of that time. So when it got to the MBA point, when I was about to apply, I was very busy at work. I had a family. I had two young kids. They were active kids. So I didn't really have enough time to do it myself. Then after the City of Lane webinar, I reached out to Tommy on LinkedIn. And, when I told her my story, she was like, okay, she could still accommodate me for the application before the application closed last year. So we started, we started talking, and I would say it was really helpful because Tommy was able to, explain to me what was needed at each stage of the application process. Even I didn't believe my story would be that interesting because I used to assume I was a boring person. So the way we crafted the story, I was like, oh, is this really me? But it was still my story, but it was crafted in an interesting way. And I think that was one major thing I learned throughout the process. Like, you can be the most boring person in this life, but the way you craft your story, the way you tell your story, people will want to know more about you. So that's one of the key things I learned from. I think that's one of the reasons why I feel like the money I spent for TitanR was not wasted. Like, I really enjoyed that part. Like, crafting the story, like, when after crafting the story, and when you master the story and you tell people the story, you begin to have that self-confidence, like, okay, this is really me, I'm really this interesting. So I think that's the most interesting part of the whole application process for me, like making yourself that interesting. That's it.
Thank you, Dolapo. So as we round off our testimonials for the admissions category, I am not seeing any questions. So you all don't have any questions to ask our panelists? Well, that'll be a bummer. I'd like to ask our panelists one more question each. So Dolapo, I'm starting with you. What mistakes did you make at the beginning of your graduate school application journey? And what advice do you have for others so they don't make the same mistakes?
Okay, so the major mistake I really felt I made was, like I said before, I used to assume I was a very boring person. So I always second guessed myself. Like, I had imposter syndrome. Like, I never believed I could even get to some of the schools that I got into, because I felt like, what am I going to say? How would I say it? Like, what would even make them have interest in me? And when you go to the school website and you see their stats, or when you talk to some people, when you see their work experience and you compare it to yours, or when I compared it to my own experience, it didn't look like I had a chance. So the mistake I made initially before I started talking to the consultant at TitanR was I didn't really believe in myself. I won't lie about that. I second guessed myself at every stage of the process because I was I'm still a shy person. Because I'm a very shy person, it took me a lot of effort to even reach out for the coffee chats, just to have just the 20-minute conversation with students and or what they call it now, with their recruiting officers at the schools. It was really hard work for me, but I got the confidence after speaking to her. Like, every meeting I had with Anu, like, I knew like there was a renewed confidence in me, like, okay, I can do this. It's not going to kill me. So for every meeting I got into with either current students or the admission officer, I would tell myself, like, well, if I do it, if they like me, fine. If they don't like me, it's not the end of the world. We move forward. So that was what actually kept me going. So I would advise everyone that even if you are shy like me, just do it. The worst thing is prepare yourself that they will tell you no. If you prepare your mind that they will tell you no and they tell you no, you won't feel as bad as when you are too eager to get the yes and they tell you no. So if you prepare yourself that they will tell you no and you actually get a yes, it's going to be very good. Like, you're going to enjoy it, you're going to like it at the end of the day, compared to saying you're not going to get the no, you're not going to get a yes and they tell you no. Well, you just count your losses and you move on. So don't second guess yourself. Just go for it. If you are prepared and you are ready, just go for it and accept whatever comes.
Thanks, Dolapo. I hope you heard that. Do not second guess yourselves, people. You come with a lot of value, so do not belittle your experience or what you have to offer. Now, Habib, what is that one thing you didn't know about securing good admission offers before working with TitanR?
I think for me, I would say I was unaware of the value of networking. Like, you need to network. So when I started with TitanR, there's usually like a tracker that tells you what to do. I was new, I kind of started my MBA journey late, actually. So I knew that I needed as much support as I could get. So, and then Anu sent me that tracker, and then I saw, so TitanR consultants would actually advise you to connect to at least 3 students in every single school that you apply to. I applied to 9 schools, and I can tell you that I spoke to at least 5 students, alumni, or admissions committee across all the schools, totaling more than 50 people. If until now I still speak to so many people, in Chicago board I'm going to. And this was really critical, throughout my MBA journey, because not only did it help me, gain more confidence, it also saved me $1,900 in application fees. So I applied to 9 schools and I didn't pay a dime for every one of them. Because, for example, I talked to admissions committee, and then there's a way TitanR does it. They actually tell you what to do. So they tell you, speak to them after like 7 days, send them a message to say, you know what, I enjoy talking to you. Can you give me an admission fee waiver? And it was unbelievable that I actually received from most, of the schools admissions committee I spoke to. In addition to that, networking actually helped me greatly with the essays and interviews, because guess what? When you talk to some students, they will tell you certain things that you will not find on the website. You will not find anywhere. For example, certain courses that certain lecturers take that would help you. For example, if I'm planning to recruit for investment banking, so they know those courses. So what happens is, when I'm crafting my essays and I'm able to say things like, oh, I want to take this particular course because I think it's great for investment banking. What happens is the school can see that I'm genuinely interested, in coming to their schools. So through your essays and your interviews, speaking to current students, alumni, this is those essays and interviews that the admissions committee would actually see that, yes, this guy really wants to come to, Chicago Board. So for me, I would say networking, and the fact that I just got to know that when I started working with TitanR, it was just, what I wouldn't have known if I hadn't worked with them.
Thank you, Abib. Yeah, we cannot stop talking about the importance of networking. And for some of us, it might not be something that comes naturally, but it's something that we have to do. The world is changing right now, and you have to network. So you have to get yourself out of that box that says, oh my goodness, I don't want to do this. Well, you will do it. You have to, because that's actually one of the paths to achieving success. So I know that a couple of you have included questions in the chat, in the Q&A session. I would actually answer some of the Q&A as we go. But right now, I'd like us to quickly move to the career services and then talk to some of our career clients who have achieved success. So here, I won't be talking too much on this. So I have spoken a lot about career services, admission services, but these services here are some of the services that make up our careers arm. One thing that I like to highlight is that we offer career services boot camps to specific incoming MBAs and graduate school students who have been admitted but haven't started their programs. This encompasses all aspects of the career services, right? But apart from that boot camp, our career services are tailored to meet the needs of both students and working professionals seeking to advance their careers. So yeah, you might be a student that did not join the boot camp. That's not all of the service that we have for you. You can actually have one-on-one services. You can say, oh, you just want to do a job search prep, you just want to do a resume review, just want to do a cover letter review, and then we are able to help you with that. And because we're a company by international students for international students, we understand the peculiarities and the challenges. So we help you actually overcome those challenges, right? That's the reason why we do not limit our coaching services. That's why we do not limit our coaching to admission services alone, rather. And I know that there's so much joy and fulfillment as somebody coming from another country going to a big country and landing a job after school. That's just amazing, and we want to help you get there. So we're not stopping at getting you into the best programs, great scholarships. No, we're not. We're not stopping till we help you achieve your career objectives. And even if you don't want to get into school, yeah, we are also all for helping you achieve your career objectives. So I know I already spoke about, oops, I think I moved my slide too far. I already spoke about some of our successes, so I won't dwell so much on that. We have achieved amazing successes with our career services, the jobs, and the offers our clients have gotten. Now, I would like to go into the testimonials of our career services clients. Something very special about these testimonials is that all three of them were previous admissions clients. I'm so happy and I'm very proud of all of them. So I would like you three, starting from Kende, then Doni, then Tolalua, to introduce yourself pretty briefly, like 20 seconds, very fast, so that we're able to get through like all of the other amazing things that we have to share today. So Kende, over to you.
All right, yeah, thank you, Tommy. So I'm Kende Abiodun. I'm first year student at Darden, UVA Darden. And yeah, I went through the TitanR career and also the admission service. Really great service. And I'll be going to Evercore for summer investment banking. Yeah.
Thanks, Kende. Doni?
Hi everyone, Anna. Thank you for having me. My name is Adedoyin Oyewole. I also did the process with TitanR and the boot camp as well. With TitanR, I was able to get a fully funded scholarship at the University of Georgia, and also with their help during the career search as well, I was able to get my internship. I'll be interning with Amazon as a senior program manager this summer. So I'm happy to share my stories with you all.
Thanks, Doni. Olalua?
Hi everybody. My name is Olua. So similar to Doni and Kende, I started with TitanR with the graduate admission program, and then I did the Head Start program, and this summer I'll be joining EY Parthenon. But it's important to know that even when you join TitanR or you start their services, there's so much more you get outside even the benefits that they list for you, some of which is like negotiations and some other fringe benefits. But yeah, I think 20 seconds overpassed my limit.
Thank you so much for the great intros. Thank you. Kende, what was the most insightful advice you got from your TitanR consultant that helped you navigate getting an early internship from Evercore?
I'll say one of the things that I really got from was just being active to receive information. I think TitanR made information very available to me easily, and how I was able to leverage on those information. Like, for example, how well I should write my cover letter that would make me stand out. Because I remember at that time, I think there were about over 200 applications for that early recruiting for Evercore, and they only picked 5 people. But from the 200, they narrowed it down to 60, and myself, I was part of the 60 outstanding cover letter guys. So it just shows how relevant the TitanR career services, on how they were able to structure the cover letter in a way that will be appealing to the admission officers. I say admission. Sorry, to the HR, yeah, to the HR guys.
The hiring managers.
Exactly, the hiring managers. Exactly. So I think it was very, very helpful, and also even trying to prepare me for interviews, like the relevant materials. I think they were very, very, very helpful for me. Yeah.
Great, awesome. Adedori, what were the main challenges you faced recruiting generally, and what did you do to ensure success?
Okay. Concerning the challenges I faced, I feel like the major thing was combining schoolwork with recruiting. The thing most people don't tell you is that the MBA is quite intense. So when you come in here, you have a lot of homework, a lot of cases. You read cases every day for each courses and all of that. And on top of that, you have to recruit. So that was my major challenge. Also drafting my stories. You have a lot of stories to tell because most of the interviews are behavioral interviews. So you need to make sure that you have those nailed down as soon as possible. Also, networking. Networking is a major thing in the US, and coming from another country, you need to be aware of that. Important to network into the organization that you are going to. You need to speak with a lot of people. They love that here. And so those were some of my challenges, changing my resume to the US standard as well. And all of these things would have been tough for me if I didn't have TitanR to like hold my hand and guide me. So those were my major challenges that I was able to overcome to get this opportunity.
Oh, great. Thanks, Adedori. Olaluwa, based on what you know now, would you say the ranking of schools played the most significant role in landing a great offer?
Yeah, so thank you for that question. So if you're going to a highly ranked school, does it offer you some advantages? I would say yes. And the reason I say that is because some firms come to specific schools to recruit. Like they only go to this set of schools to recruit, maybe the Ivy Leagues or some ranked schools. So you might have like prestigious firms, maybe banking firms, investment banking, consulting. They go to some firms to recruit. However, is it significant in your recruitment journey? I would say no. And the reason why I say that is because irrespective of what school you go to, you still need to put in the work, right? You can go to Harvard, MIT, like any of those top schools, and still not get an internship or an offer placement if you don't do the work. You know, that you're in those schools should even position you for maybe securing something on time. But the main thing is understanding that you're in those schools doesn't mean that they fall on your lap. If you like go to those schools and you, in Nigerian parlance, they'll say lose guard, you know, you would find out that you're not going to get anything, and your friend, even from maybe lower rank schools, are getting even the choicest offers. You know, so it's very important that while you consider ranking in your application, which is very good, you know, if you can get to the highly ranked schools, it's very good. But also note that you can be in a maybe slightly lower ranked school and also get like the best offer. So I usually use an example. There are people in our first year and second year that are going to firms that they don't come to my school to recruit, but they are going to those firms, and these are like top 3, top 4, top 5 firms in the world, even from my own school where they don't come to recruit. So that shows that irrespective of what school you go to, you can get your foot through the door. So in as much as you want like the top schools, like don't be fixated on that. Like just know that irrespective of what you do and the schools you go to, if you go through TitanR, there's so many things you can get, and you can always get the best offers irrespective of whether those firms come to your place to recruit or not. So while ranking is good, please don't be fixated on that. That's the point.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Olaoluwa. Now, I know that we are almost at time. Actually, based on the calendar, we're actually over time. But yes, I know that we can push it back to like the 1 hour mark. So now we have 10 minutes till the end of the hour. And I want to make sure that we touch base on all of the questions that we asked. So Kende, Adedori, and Olaoluwa, I have one more question to ask you all. And if you could just give us your answers in like 30 seconds each, that would be fantastic. So Kende, if you were to give an advice to somebody that just got an offer to graduate school, when is the best time to start the job search prep?
Best time to start job prep. is now, to be honest. And depending on what you're recruiting for and your kind of situation, I think I'll give myself as an example. I was trying to finish CFA, and I knew I was going to do an MBA, but it just dawned on me that hey, that I want to recruit for investment banking, and rather than spending so much time studying for CFA, I was like, no, I'm going to channel that time to actually prepare for investment banking recruiting. And it was actually around this time that I was trying to prepare for the banking recruiting. So I'll say the best time is now. Be open to look for information. Information is really out there for you to actually leverage on. I know if you're trying to do banking recruiting, I know the Twigo application is open now. So I think like if you're interested, go for it, apply for it. It's a good resource. And also look for opportunities for early recruiting across outside of investment banking. I know consulting does. So just make yourself out there and start your recruiting journey. Try and network with alumni from your schools as well. Like if you've got into a school. So yeah, I'll say that'll be my biggest advice. Start your career process as early as possible.
Yeah. Thanks, Candy. Doing 30 seconds. As an international student, can you share one thing you did to stand out from the crowd?
Yeah, riding off of what Kendi said, I would say starting early definitely helped me. Just like during the admissions process as well is important because you're an international student. The people that are here, the guys, the US residents, they have more opportunities compared to you coming from another country. So starting early is really important. And another thing to note is that you might be rejected in some other companies. So if you don't have enough time to go through the process, it wouldn't just be, it won't work out for you. So start early, give it your best, draft your stories, and definitely have someone like TitanR to help you out. So
thanks, Dwayne.
Yeah.
Our final question is Olaoluwa. What do you love the most about the coaching you received from TitanR? 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. So I would say it's the personalized service. TitanR helped like me keep my eyes on the goal because coming into the MBA program, I'm going to be fast. It's going to reset your life because you're just a student, assignments and all that. But making you see the goal, and the goal really is to get a job or to secure an internship. It's not to get the best grades. Like as much as grades are good, that's not your goal. You're not here to get 4.0 by 4.0. If you can get it, perfect. But TitanR helped me know that, look, the goal is to get an internship. So like, don't be fixated on I must get the highest grade. Like those things are not as important as what it is you want to achieve from the MBA program. So 30 seconds. I think I went by 5.
Thank you, Olaoluwa. Thank you, Kendi. Thank you, Adedoyin. We have 7 more minutes to the top of the hour, and so we're going to be using these 7 minutes to actually go through some of the questions. I know for some of the questions, the consultants have been able to answer them, but I will just read out so that everybody gets an idea. Before that, I would like to provide you a snapshot of our calendar for the year as of now. It's subject to change. Like I said, our programs are one-on-one, one-to-many, right? So we have webinars we have this webinar now, we have another one in May, we have another one in July. If you want initial consultation calls all through the year, it's free, send us an email. If you're seeking individual career services offerings or individual admissions offerings, is available all through the year. You have to pay for that though. Then if you're seeking certain programs like the boot camp, it's for the Head Start, the MBA boot camp for the careers, no admissions. It's available between March and June every year. It's paid. If you're seeking career workshops, so something that I did not mention is some people might not be able to afford like maybe the one-on-one resume coaching or the one-on-one interview coaching. Now you want to be like a class of 5 or 10 people for an hour of resume coaching. Well, we're going to be doing that alternate Saturdays from March 5th. So you just have to email us and get signed up for that. We'll be sending more details about the career workshops after the call. Then we have the complete MBA package, which is the one-on-one coaching. It's available from July to October and October to January for round 1 and round 2. We do not offer round 3 coaching at TitanR. Then we have the accelerated admissions coaching, which is a boot camp, which is similar to the one-on-one complete MBA masters, but it is shorter and it's not one-on-one. So that's the highlight of our services calendar. I'm going to put it here if you want to take a screenshots of it, or you just want to read through? Now, quickly, I'm going to go through all of the questions in the Q&A side, and I'll go to the questions in the chat. I know I've answered Taiwo Aziz's question. Kate Goodwill asked, if I'm subscribing to TitanR Consulting, do I need to get my exams done with first? No, you do not, right? So this is, it depends, I would say. Reach out to us first, and then let's map out what your journey should look like what structure you're going to take. And then we can advise you, oh, this is the best time to take the exam. Because something I've noticed is a lot of people spend a lot of time and say, oh, they want to take the exam first, and then they take the exam in December. I'm not going to coach you in 2 days from December to January. That's not possible, right? So we have to work together and figure out, okay, how exactly do we structure your exams with the coaching? Then Taiwo has said, well, the best round to apply for the MBA. Well, I would say that the first round and the second round are pretty good. First round, if possible, but after the second round, the chances of scholarships and admission significantly drops. But it is not impossible. I've got people that applied in third round and they got admitted. How to position yourself for a full scholarship, I would say, is based on your profile, the story you're able to tell, and the availability of funding in the school. Right? If you want to get more information about that, just send me an email. Temitayo, one of the challenging aspects for me in the MBA process is interviewing, especially the behavioral question. So can you tell us how the interview prep service helped you? So I know this question is supposed to be directed at the admissions client, but let me just answer it for you. How we help them is by writing down their stories. There's something that I always tell people. You would not win an interview. If you are interviewing, I give you a list of questions, come up with answers to those questions. That's the best way to achieve success. You talking out of your head is just going to be a mishap. That's how it's going to happen. So structure your answers using the STAR framework. Type it out. Type out your answers. That's the best way to achieve success with interviews. Because that way you are going to be more articulate. You know what you're saying. You know why you are saying it. Instead of just pulling things out of the air every time you have an interview. Then we have Anne Akinwale saying that, is it possible to apply for an MBA program with 2 years of work experience? Yes, it's possible. We have to assess your entire application to know how best to advise you. So email us, and myself and the consultant will get to talk to you. Omolara Awoyemi is asking, is there a possibility that one can start getting interviews for internship ahead of resumption in the fall? Oh, yes. We have clients that got their offers before starting in the fall. So yes, you can get interviews. In fact, interviews are going to start rolling out from May of this year before you start in the fall. So yes, you can get interviews, and that's about you starting early. That's about ensuring that you have your entire resume ready for the job market, not admissions, ready for the job market, getting your interview stories ready. Yeah. So those are all of the questions that I have for the Q&A side. Then I will go to the questions in the chat box. We got a couple. Nafisat has asked, what do you think would make one's application stand out from the others? I would say it's your story and how your story ties to the mission of the school. There are things that are important to a school, right? Know that these schools are trying to get people that fit into their core value and their value structure. So as you seek to tell your story, you need to figure out how it ties to the school and why you should be important to the school. So you don't just go and just write things and miss. I think that's the best way to actually have your application stand out. And also your interview. Interview is a huge part of the application. Something that I've noticed is a lot of people come up with very great application, but they mess up their interview. They're not going to give you an admission, even if you have the best test scores, because your interviewing actually is almost, I would say, a reflection of how you perform in the MBA program. These schools don't want to take people that won't get a job after. So nailing your interview is very important. And we've answered your question. Oriola, we've answered your question. The MBA is not age restricted, but yeah, if you are above a particular age, it's good for you to be able to include some information in the additional information to talk about, okay, why you are just applying at this time, why you believe the MBA is right for you and not the executive MBA, right? It's not restricted, but you have to be able to tell a story around it. Jojo Adesoji, how do you link up with current students? Because sometimes this forms part of your interview. Linking up with current students is in two folds, through LinkedIn and through the members of the admissions committee that you have spoken with. So you've spoken to a member of admissions committee. It's okay for you to say, oh, I'd like to talk to a current student. Can you introduce me to them? And then they introduce you to current students. Through LinkedIn, you send them a request on LinkedIn. Please, when you're sending people requests on LinkedIn, don't just request. I would never accept somebody that just clicks request because I don't know you. It's very important for you to add a note and say, oh, hi, my name is this. I'm contacting you because of this. Or, hi, my name is this. I got your details from this person. For example, some of you after this event might want to talk to us. You say, oh, hi, my name is this. I attended the TitanR session. I would like to keep connected with you. That's fine. But if you just click, I don't know who you are. So it's very important that even if you're connecting to students, you need to tell them who you are and why you are connecting with them. Do you need a GRA to apply for MBA admissions? Yes. Although GRA or GMAT, although some schools are providing waivers, you need to meet some of the waiver requirements. Ebra, what are the costs to get TitanR services? Olubumi, please send us an email and we will send you our price list ASAP. Abraham, Mary, what are the chances of getting a fully funded scholarship with 2 years of experience and no volunteer jobs? Well, when people tell me fully funded scholarships, I need you to know that it's not like all of these schools just give people fully funded scholarships, right? These schools have opportunities to give you scholarships, but I don't mean that it's just a tick box for fully funded scholarship. Everything is based on your application and the resources that the school has. So we need to think through, okay, how much money does the school have, right? What is your story? How do you tell your story? And the way we see volunteer experiences in Nigeria, you don't have to be working for Red Cross before you are doing something volunteer. But send me an email, Mary, and we can talk about that. Rachel, can you get a scholarship without taking the GRE? Yes, we've had clients get scholarships without that. However, your entire profile is very important, right? So you're not going to come with like a very low grade, no work experience, and then the scholarship is going to fall on your laps. No, right? So that's why I always encourage you to take the GRE or the GMAT. How do I start connecting with the current students as I have an interview coming up? Jojo Adesoji, please send us an email and I'll let you know. How significant are undergraduate grades for the admissions process? To be honest, the entire admissions process has different things, right? We have the grades, we have the GRE, we have your work experience, we have your interviews. So yes, it could be significant depending. So if you have a very low undergraduate GPA, what have you done to compensate for that? What part of your application is going to make you stand out, even if you have a low part in another side? Then, when does school start for round 1 and round 2? Okay, so Sheon, round 1 and round 2 is application cycle. Most of the schools in the US for the MBA start in the fall. Fall is July, August, September. The round 1 and round 2 is when you apply. Please send me an email and I'll give you more details of that. Is age really a factor? If you're above the age range, it's good for you to tell a story around that so they understand why you are doing the MBA at this time. Yeah, so we've gone through all of the questions. If any question hasn't been answered, please send us an email. Olamide Ofisayo, can you put our email address in the chat? The coaching@titanrconsulting.com, services@titanrconsulting.com, or anu@titanrconsulting.com. Email us and we'll get on a call with you. Then, I know you guys have answered, you've asked a lot of questions. So we're going to be having a raffle, and we'll be emailing who the winners are of our raffle, after this call. So if you want to contact us, I'll put the email addresses there. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or just visit our page on our website. Thank you all so much for the session today. I know we ran a little over time. We apologize sincerely for that. We hope you were able to get value. I will be staying on the call for the next 5 minutes, just in case other people want to ask questions, but you're free to jump off the call right now if you have no further questions. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you.